The most recent Korean balance patch that was on PTR for the last week hit the live service today, and it's a game changer for many classes. Since we only care about Sharpshooter on this channel, I will leave a link to full patch notes in the description. And for those of you that didn't take an easy route of going Loyal Companion and stuck it out with Deathstrike, well, you just got rewarded significantly. Not only was Deathstrike already the higher damage potential compared to Loyal Companion, but now it got an even bigger average damage increase while getting rid of all the clunkiness and slowness. Let me explain. First, they lowered how much hog gauge you can gain from using Spec Stat, which pretty much solidifies swiftness as a secondary stat for all Deathstrike builds. Skill changes are also looking very nice, with Arrow Wave receiving a nice buff to a Hellfire Tripod, which means you aren't reliant anymore on hitting all 3 waves to proc the 4th damage. Biggest change is the removal of 10-second gauge recovery time with Silver Master Tripods. They are all instant on a skill hit, which is an absolute game changer when it comes to making Deathstrike fluid and fast. All of the 4 skills that use Silver Master Tripods receive those changes, but I do believe that only using Hawkshot Silver Master is going to be enough to generate meter in time for another rotation, as the overall natural gauge recovery has also been increased by 53%. The Sharpshooter skill had a tripod change where it has 15% casting speed and 30% more damage. We will have to sacrifice crit here, but damage is always better. And the biggest change to the absolute beast of a skill has been buffed to the moon. The Ghillie Suit Tripod has been changed to 60% damage increase when you hit Perfect Zone, plus 160 crit damage increase if the Hawk is not summoned. This will pretty much make your current fully buffed 60 million snipe crits hit 200 million plus instead. Now tell me how good it is to finally see these numbers that are in line with what the class is all about, which is high burst. Since Snipe and Sharpshooter are losing their crit increase with tripods for the sake of the increased damage, the highest damage potential will still be similar with both Salvation set and Nightmare set, but only if you can avoid going into the Boundless Mana state on the Nightmare set. Also, we can still use Claymore Mine for the extra damage that can be easily fit into the rotation, since we won't need to run mass increase anymore. Instead, you will want to add Adrenaline 3 to compensate for the crit loss, which, with crit resistance synergy, will give you more than enough crit to consistently hit 300 million snipes. Maintaining 6 Adrenaline stacks will also not be problematic, as you can easily hit those 6 stacks before using Snipe. The big change also came to the class engraving itself. It's still going to return 50% of the hog gauge when you hit the last rush, and it will still apply the debuff, making you do more damage for 8 seconds, except the number has been dropped from 50% to 30% on level 3, but Deathstrike also gives you 12% damage increase for all the attacks when Silverhawk is not summoned. Despite 8% less damage, this is a very good change when you find yourself in a situation where you miss your last rush skill. Now when this happens, you won't lose 50% damage, you will only lose 30% damage, and those 12% when Silverhawk is not summoned is still going to be applied to all of the skills in the rotation. So yeah, that's pretty much everything, and I don't have anything else to say other than that I hope that you listened when I was saying before the last patch that the Deathstrike will be the ultimate Sharpshooter build in the future, and hopefully you have invested into the Deathstrike stock, because next balance patch we are going to the moon. But don't get me wrong, Loyal Companion is still great and very easy to play, but you won't be seeing those 300 million snipe crits anytime soon. To also add insult to injury, Korean Sharpshooter players who were vastly playing Loyal Companion, having 70 Loyal Companion and 30 Deathstrike players in the top 100 on loava.com rankings, well, today that number went from 60 Deathstrike to 40 Loyal Companion players. So that pretty much tells the whole story. Let me know in the comments what you have been running so far, and if you're not running Deathstrike, will you be swapping next balance patch? Thank you for watching, stay safe and keep creating those snipes.